Welcome to Morgan. Hi, my name is Morgan. I'm 8 years old, and today I'm going to be teaching you 5 things you did not know about the game Run Sackboy Run and some tips and tricks. So let's get on right with the video. The first one is the red bubbles. So you go into different lands, and in all the lands you see little red bubbles right after you're about to go in the land. So let's replay that scene. Okay, so as you saw right here, there's that bounce pad in your character, and your character bounces on that bounce pad that teleports you into the next land. And then, but beyond that, there's these 3 red bubbles, and we all know that red bubbles are 3 points. So, some people might be thinking, maybe that's a troll. Other people might be thinking of ways you could maybe try to get those red bubbles. Or other people might not even, go much into the red bubbles at all. But there is actually a way to get those red bubbles. Now, it's kind of like this, almost like this cheat thing. But sometimes, now I don't really know how it works, but if you go on the bounce pad a certain way, if you miss the bounce pad almost, if you're dashing or doing something, if you do this move, either you're dashing or if you're not doing anything at all, sometimes your character goes past that bounce pad, because sometimes your character goes past that bounce pad, and you can get the red bubbles. And after that, there's this secret little area that you go through for a couple seconds, and then you're back into the game again. But that's a really cool thing that probably most of you did not know about Run Sackboy Run. But I actually have experienced it, and I got those red bubbles at the end. So it's actually kind of cool and impressive. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Okay, so for those of you that haven't really played much in Run Sackboy Run, or that are having trouble in some of the lands, there are 3 main lands. There's the Gardens, Avalonia, and the Canyons. Now, people that have made it into the canyons before, but have never made it past the canyons, some people might be thinking, what are the other lands? Well, that is a very good question. But it turns out that the other lands are actually, this game is kind of like a repeating game. So you go to the Gardens, Avalonia, and the Canyons. After the Canyons, you go into the Garden again. But the Garden it's like the nighttime garden. And then you go into the nighttime type Avalonia, and then the nighttime canyons. Then after that, you go into the daytime gardens again, going all the way through. So that's a tip. That is for those of the people that don't know what is beyond all of the lands. Or maybe you even haven't made it into the next land yet. Okay, moving on to the third thing. Okay, so this thing is actually in the lobby after you die. But after you die in a game, click on the home button. And it will take you to this main screen. Now, probably most of you are not paying attention to this, but you can actually add friends in Run Sackboy Run. So you click on that add friends, and you just log into Facebook with your parents' permission. And then you can add friends into Run Sackboy Run. So that's maybe something that you guys were not noticing. And you would actually get a +5 multiplier. And that's actually great for the next reason, because the next reason is something with the multipliers. Now, some of you might not know what the multipliers do. But with the multipliers, there is this little button at the top. Well, I mean, it's not a button, but there's this little thing at the top, and it shows these blue stars, and then plus, and then a number, minus plus 24. that actually means like your skills almost, but like when you unlock new characters with your points, you get more stars with your multiplier. And when you complete missions, when you complete a certain number of missions, you get multipliers and some special tasks. Now, some of you might have known that, obviously, but what some people might not know what the multiplier is for. Like, I haven't known this for a while, but the multiplier, when you go into the game, there's this power-up that says times 10. And it's 1,000 points unless you have, like, the free power-up thing forever. Or, like, just you have the free power-up thing. But that is for, it will increase your score plus 10, and it will make you, like, 10 times, it will increase your score times 10. So it will make your score even bigger. Now let me show you an example of that. Okay, here, 10 times the multiplier. You just click on the power up, and then I had, if you look in the corner over here, I had 24, but then it says the plus 10 multiplier. And let's zoom into that more. So over here it says the plus 10 with the star, and that's your power up you're using. So I had 24 times 34. It added 10, and that means that it's 10 times, going like 10 times my regular score. So for those of you that didn't know that, that's actually a good tip as well. If you want to, if you want to beat your high score, or you want your score to get higher, then it will increase your chances of actually doing that. And the last and final thing in Run Sackboy Run is beating Odd Sock. So for those of you that haven't gotten that far, this is Odd Sock's score on the leaderboard. And you actually get special gifts when you beat Odd Sock's score. So if you ever go into the shop and you go into your costumes, and you see this little owl thing, it has these little numbers at the bottom. And if you can't buy the owl character. But if you don't know what the owl is for, actually when you beat Odd Sock, you get this owl character. And you get like a plus 10 or plus 5 multiplier or something. It's plus 5 multiplier. And that goes to your score. So as I said before about the multipliers. And you get all these cool stuff when you beat Odd Sock. So beating Odd Sock is kind of a big deal. But I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Morgan High. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. So toodles!